Ed Rose here. In our house, sports was the language. Football, basketball, and baseball. And the game that kept us together was softball. My road started at Florida Air Academy, a military school in Melbourne, Florida. Three sports kid, scholarship helped, and a baseball coach who believed I could chase the big league dream. But the best came later, sharing the same field with my boys. Sometimes we were teammates, sometimes we were across the diamond. And one night, my oldest son and I in the USSSA Air World did what is improbable. We both hit grand slams in the same game. I'll never forget that. Today I'm sitting down with my son Scott to talk about how the journey just came full circle. What lasts after the trophies, and how families and competition shape character, and why the diamond still feels like home. This is a father-son conversation about legacy, leadership, and the love of the game. I'm glad you're here. Let's roll. Well, you know, we come full circle almost like, right? So here we are again, you know, I'm 79, you're 53. I can't even remember how old you're, 54.
52.
52, yeah. That's Steven at
53 into this year.
When you look around, what's the first memory that hits you from this park? We're now in Connect, not University. So University, we ran all the tournaments back in the day. So what's the first memory? What memory you have of this?
Yeah, University, certainly a lot more memories there. But here, probably a little later in life, we spent a lot of time here. We talked about the story about getting put into the game, you know, getting 4 hits as a 15-year-old.
Yeah, we didn't run a lot of tournaments down here because this was a new park that came in, you know, probably after, you know, when I was really old, a lot older. You probably had University Park. You had eaten a lot of hot dogs, I'm sure.
A lot of hot dogs, a lot of early mornings there, a lot of late nights. I do remember we were on field 1 out there at University Park, and I think I was in high school, probably had a late Friday night, showed up early Saturday, and was scorekeeping. I think I was making $4 a game. Fell asleep. Yeah, and I don't remember who the umpire was, but man, he was a godsend because he came over and kind of covered for me, and I was like 2 innings behind. And you know the softball teams, man, they were benches kind of come out. And
ready to
they weren't keeping their own book, and it was all on me, and we had to backfill.
Especially if they knew you were my son.
Yeah, it just wasn't a good. Talk about a life learning moment. That was it.
Yeah. So
Make
you know,
sure you get your sleep.
Yeah. Growing up, you know, in running tournaments, you got to have organization, you got to have standards, you got to have sportsmanship. So that kind of got into your psyche too, right?
Yeah, I think so. At an early age, I watched you run those tournaments. You're right. You got to be organized. You got to be prepared. You got to be on time. You know, you got to be a little bit of a diplomat. You know, those guys.
Yeah, that's for sure.
No one's coming up to you and patting you on the back and saying, "Man, what a great tournament." It's always the complaints is the ones they're going to vocalize. So, you know, usually when you get no complaints, that's the positive side on it. But yes, there's certainly a lot of business aspects going into running.
And you got to learn how to do things. For example, exactly what you said about the complaints. But when I went into the corporate world and changed jobs, I understood how to handle conflict. So the guy could come to me and say, "This is the worst tournament I've ever been in," and I'd say, "Yeah, I agree with you, man. It's pretty bad. I know the guy that's running it, so." You know, but then fast forward after when the tournament's over, and the guy that complained to me that said it was the worst tournament,
exactly,
he's telling me it's a great tournament. So it's all about, you know, it's people.
It's people.
You learn how to deal with them, and you're in that business of dealing with people.
I do it now. If someone complains to me, I complain back to them, and that kind of negates it.
So what brought, you know, I don't know if we covered this before, but let's do this in the closing. What brought you back to softball? What was the?
You know, you were still active in the 50s, and it was an opportunity for us to play on the same team and do a little travel together, lake travel.
But we went to Maui together.
We did. We played in Maui a few times. But just, you know, coming back around, you know, this go round is kind of been able to, you know, spend some time with my father and, you know, make some memories later on in life around the softball field. and I think we've done a pretty good job thus far.
Oh, absolutely, man. It's been the highlight of my life, playing with, when you're able to play with your son and, a little, my oldest son, we played together. But Steven, we never really had an opportunity because he don't really like softball for whatever reason.
He was pretty good.
He was. He could hit home runs. He says he hit. I'll hit all you guys.
Yeah.
We'll have a. Well, no, it wouldn't be much of a contest.
They'll need to prove that.
Yeah, they ain't no way they stand with you nowadays. But when you look back and realize how far we've come, what are the feelings in general about it? We covered a little bit, but what? About time you got here, buddy.
I know. What's up, Patrick? Hey. Okay. It gets to be one of those things too. You kind of wish things would slow down. I mean, you can't believe it's been 35 years since we were playing at that high level and traveling a lot. It's the team we're on now with the dugout team is a lot of fun because it's a lot of guys from that era of the 80s and 90s.
Guys who used to despise me.
Yeah. You talk about the Eddie Hicks and Brian Henderson and Blair, who we actually played with Blair, but just a lot of fun being around those guys. It just gives you a connection back to that time period when we were all younger in the game and playing, and trash talking was a little bit more. And listen, by the way, we're a very competitive team, winning a lot of tournaments currently.
Okay, well let me ask you another question. Okay, Scott, to end this thing, it was a nice conversation with you. Appreciate it. Love you and all that stuff. But what would you tell your 12-year-old self?
I think looking back, I don't have any regrets. You and I kind of go back and forth on that. I was a young graduate. I think I was...
Yeah, he wanted me to keep you back.
Yeah, I was 17, freshman in college after the football season. I didn't turn 18 until December, so football was over.
I had to sign everything you could.
Yeah, so it was, I could have probably had 2 more years in high school. But listen, no regrets. I wouldn't change a thing. But if I had something to tell my 12-year-old self, and for this matter, anybody coming up, I would say take more risks. Take the risks. You won't have the regrets.
I think that's excellent advice. Take the risk for sure.
Yeah, the verse looking back and regretting not taking them.
Yeah, for sure. And that's our circle. From the FAA gyms, Friday night lights, and the dusty infields we still call home. Scott's building a business, raising a family, and still launching softballs. But the wind underneath never changes. Show up, outwork yesterday to be a great teammate, and value the people on your lineup card. If this sparks a memory, drop it in the comments. Share your family's game story. Like and subscribe to The Art of Hitting for more conversation, training tips, and honest bat talk. Thanks for spending a few minutes with us. I'm Ed Rose, and that was my son Scott, and I'll see you in the next video. Have a great day.